Alexander the Great was born in July 356 BCE in Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedon. He was the son of Philip II of Macedon, a revolutionary military leader, and Olympias, a woman deeply involved in religion and royal politics. From the very beginning, Alexander was raised not as an ordinary prince, but as a future conqueror. A prince educated for greatness, 343 to 340 BCE. At the age of 13, Alexander was placed under the guidance of the philosopher Aristotle in 343 BCE. For 3 years, he studied philosophy, medicine, science, and literature. Aristotle introduced him to the works of Homer, especially the Iliad. Alexander reportedly kept a copy with him during his campaigns, modeling himself after Achilles. This education gave him something rare among conquerors, a strategic mind shaped by philosophy. First taste of war, 338 BCE. Alexander first proved himself in battle at the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BCE. Fighting alongside his father, he led the Macedonian cavalry and played a decisive role in crushing the allied Greek forces, including troops from Athens and Thebes. This battle marked the end of Greek independence and the rise of Macedon as the dominant power. Alexander was only 18 years old. The rise to power, 336 BCE. In 336 BCE, Philip II was assassinated during a royal ceremony. Within days, Alexander, just 20 years old, was proclaimed king, but his throne was unstable. Several Greek city-states rebelled, believing Macedonian power would collapse. Alexander responded with speed and brutality. In 335 BCE, he destroyed Thebes completely, killing thousands and enslaving survivors. This act sent a clear message. Macedon would not fall. The invasion of Asia, 334 BCE. In the spring of 334 BCE, Alexander launched his campaign against the Persian Empire. He crossed the Hellespont, modern Dardanelles, with an army of around 40,000 troops. His enemy was the Persian king Darius III, ruler of the largest empire in the world. Battle of the Granicus, May 334 BCE. Alexander's first major battle took place at the Granicus River in May 334 BCE. Despite strong Persian defenses, Alexander personally led a cavalry charge across the river under heavy attack. The Macedonians broke through and defeated the Persian forces. This victory opened the gates of Asia Minor. Battle of Issus, November 333 BCE. In November 333 BCE, Alexander faced Darius III directly at the Battle of Issus. Though outnumbered, Alexander used the narrow terrain to neutralize Persian advantages. He led a direct assault toward Darius himself. Darius fled the battlefield. His family, his wife, mother, and children were captured. This was a turning point. The Persian king had abandoned his army. Siege of Tyre, 332 BCE. One of the most difficult challenges came in 332 BCE with the Siege of Tyre. Tyre was located on an island and heavily fortified. Instead of abandoning the siege, Alexander ordered the construction of a massive causeway to reach the city. After 7 months, Tyre fell. Thousands were killed. Thousands more were enslaved. Alexander had proven that no city was beyond his reach. Egypt and divine kingship, 332-331 BCE. Later, in 332 BCE, Alexander entered Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator from Persian rule. He was crowned pharaoh and declared the son of the god Amun. In 331 BCE, he founded the city of Alexandria, which would become one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. Battle of Gaugamela, October 1st, 331 BCE. The decisive battle came on October 1st, 331 BCE, at Gaugamela. Darius III assembled a massive army, possibly over 100,000 troops, including war chariots. Alexander had around 47,000 men. Using a diagonal advance and precise timing, Alexander created a gap in the Persian lines. He led a direct cavalry charge toward Darius. Once again, Darius fled. The Persian Empire collapsed. The fall of Persia, 330 BCE. In 330 BCE, Alexander entered the great Persian capitals, including Babylon and Persepolis. Persepolis, the ceremonial capital, was later burned, possibly as revenge for earlier Persian invasions of Greece. Darius III was eventually murdered by his own men while fleeing. Alexander declared himself king of Asia. Campaigns in Central Asia, 330 to 327 BCE. Alexander continued east into regions like Bactria and Sogdiana. These campaigns were brutal and difficult. He faced guerrilla warfare and constant rebellions. During this time, he married Roxana in 327 BCE, attempting to unify Greek and Eastern cultures. The Indian Campaign, 326 BCE. In 326 BCE, Alexander reached India and fought King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes River. Despite strong resistance and war elephants, Alexander won. Impressed by Porus, he allowed him to remain king. However, Alexander's army refused to march further east. After years of war, they had reached their limit. The return and final years, 325 to 323 BCE. Alexander began the long journey back west in 325 BCE, crossing harsh deserts and losing many men. By 323 BCE, he returned to Babylon, planning new campaigns possibly against Arabia. But he would never carry them out. Death, June 323 BCE. In June 323 BCE, at the age of 32, Alexander fell ill and died in Babylon. The cause remains unknown: illness, poisoning, or exhaustion. He left no clear heir. Aftermath and legacy. After his death, his empire was divided among his generals, known as the Diadochi. But his influence did not disappear. Greek culture spread across Egypt, Persia, and Asia, creating the Hellenistic world. Cities like Alexandria became centers of science, philosophy, and trade. Alexander ruled for only 13 years, yet in that short time he destroyed the Persian Empire, conquered territory from Greece to India, founded over 20 cities, changed the course of history. He was not just a conqueror. He was a force of transformation, a king who did not inherit a world, but remade it.